This is a podcast about just opinions.
Hey, yo, this is what it is. This is what I think.
We all have kind of outlandish takes.
Like, don't at me.
If there's other free-form stuff that comes with it, we cover that too.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
All right, so similar to the first two episodes, this episode was all over the place. I mean, we were actually in the car when we recorded this, and if anybody's listening, no, I wasn't holding like the laptop in my lap or anything like that, or holding the microphone. But anyway, this episode goes all over the place. I mean, we're talking Joker, just kind of getting some notes from the first two episodes based on some feedback we heard from you all, the loving fans. We talked a little bit more about Darth Vader, specifically his playoff record. I'm just unimpressed. We also get into Netflix and how really it just kind of sucks. Get into the horror movie scale, how that differs from actual movie scales. We also talk a little bit about the Joker, the movie. We had a review right after watching it that we saved for this episode. We touch a little bit more on that. Shout out to Honeycrisp Apples, by the way. And then at the end, we get into some outrage culture. So, look, we're just bear with us in the beginning. It's going to be a little bit of an organized chaos, but as long as the conversation is good, we hope you guys keep coming back. We hope you guys keep listening. So here's Chance and I digging in on really just a lot of different things. We're heading back to Houston from Huntsville after quite an adventurous marketing campaign.
Yeah, shit was random as fuck too. It was just like randomly came up with that idea. Just did that shit old school guerrilla style.
See, honestly, I think y'all were most surprised because I had y'all didn't know I could do all that on Paint. And it's on the Twitter though.
Yo, yeah, that shit. They gonna write some shit in the like newspaper out here about it or some shit. Like, shit
I would think so. I would hope so. I hope we get more listeners.
Yeah, that shit. Yo, we did that shit raw too. Like, y'all didn't even see us doing it. Oh, yo, it got like when we were in the journalism building or whatever the fuck. Yeah, that shit got scary for a minute though. I thought like one of those bitches with the keys or some shit was gonna like.
Yeah, she was looking like kind of sternly,
fucking,
right?
Like, tase us or some shit. I don't know.
All right, so after that first week, the first set of podcasts, I realized, hey, some people actually listen to this. Not many, right?
Nah, not that many. But shit.
Hey, we wish more people would listen, but the people that did listen, they were.
Shout out to y'all.
Yes.
Y'all like the real ones out here.
The original.
Fuck this bitch doing.
But so some of the people that I was talking to had some thoughts on the Star Wars take.
Yo, if y'all did listen to it as well, like, and y'all listen to this episode, let us know. Be like, yo, 3-episode listening motherfuckers. So, you know what I'm saying?
The original.
They'll give us, you know what I'm saying, like the wherewithal to keep going.
Yeah.
Keep doing this shit. To give it to you more and more and more.
So, the people that did listen had some thoughts on Star Wars. I was actually surprised, like our Star Wars sucks take. I thought that was going to be kind of takey. Like, not many people would feel that way. But honestly, like, a lot of people did feel that way.
Yeah.
I was surprised. You weren't surprised?
No, Star Wars does suck.
I think it, and I guess maybe I should explain a little bit more thoroughly my issue with it, right? So, again, Darth Vader. If you listen to the episode, the take was mostly, at least my perspective, is Star Wars was built all around this super duper Darth Vader. This dude's the shit. He's the OG. Nobody can beat his ass. And yet, when you look at it, he didn't really beat anybody. And I want to take a second to kind of go through his resume. For one, he had like a really poor playoff record, if you will.
And he
playoff.
Kill a bunch of kids.
Yeah, well, and that's
That's like me when I be hooping against the kids and shit during the week,
Basically, yeah. It's the same concept. But that's like the regular season. That's like the regular season shit. So when you look at the postseason, right? I'm. This is of course a metaphor. I'm looking at lightsaber duels, fighting motherfuckers that you should struggle with, but hey, he's Darth Vader. He should win. But let's go through each one. The first win he had was didn't come until episode 3.
Yeah.
So episode 2, he starts out first playoff appearance.
Didn't he get his fucking, arm and shit chopped off?
He lost his arm. He lost his homie too. Obi-Wan didn't die, but he got kind of banged up. But either way, he loses to Dooku. That's 0-1. And I mean, again, this is with help. This is with Obi-Wan there. Fast forward, episode 3. Okay, that's his first win. His big marquee win. Honestly, his coming back and defeating Dooku, that might have been his most impressive win in the entire franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, just when you look at like where he was and where the opponent was, and it was a comeback story. Maybe episode 5 was number 1. But anyway, now he's 1-1, right? All he did was come back and beat the guy that already beat him. The next fight he has is Obi-Wan. It's a good fight, but he loses. Yeah. 1-2.
Because Obi-Wan had the high ground.
He did.
You know what I'm saying?
He told him too.
Yeah.
He said, hey, it could be a tie right now. They could call it a draw. Nah, he went in for the knockout punch. He got knocked out himself. 1-2. Going into episode 4, right? The original. And that's when they were already thinking he was the coldest, right?
Yeah.
So, no, like, you're wrong. And then all of a sudden he goes in and he fights Obi-Wan.
But it's like 20 years in between that shit.
Yeah.
So, like, the shit that he done in those 20 years.
Well, and that's the whole premise,
Which
remember, was
really
the movies.
Which is what the movies should really be about.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, those 20 years. Those are the most crucial 20 years, obviously, for the fucking, whole lore.
Right.
Shit. Like,
so
why don't we get to see that shit?
That's what I always wondered. I wanted to watch the stuff in between. I mean,
George.
they're starting to kind of build those out, right? They're starting to kind of have your Rogue
I
One.
that game, bro. I finally watched that shit.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit look dope.
It does. I do want to get. I haven't had video games though since Madden, like 13.
God damn.
Yeah. But back to the original
played
point.
this.
I'm gonna finish the original point because it's important to get to where I'm going.
Oh, okay.
The next fight he has is Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan basically forfeits, so he's 2-2. Fine, whatever. I'll give it to you. You still won it, whatever. And then he beats Luke in episode 5. That might be the marquee win, but even with that, that's the first time he goes over 500. The first time.
And Luke was like trash anyway.
And Luke was new. Luke is a rookie. Luke doesn't really know what's going on. And then in the next matchup, Luke wins. So, okay, you beat the guy, but then when he actually comes to, you lose. So that puts Vader lifetime at 3-3. And then it's like, okay, but he killed the Emperor, right? No. We saw the trailer. We've been hearing all the stuff, the build-up, the marketing. He ain't dead. He didn't even kill the Emperor. So, like, even one other thing.
Bring balance to the Force. Yeah, I think that's some, like, Disney bullshit, though, bro.
Maybe. Probably so.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think, like, their writer's room got to be, like, the most, like, chaotic place you ever been into. Like, I could just imagine, like, papers and shit flying everywhere. Like, it looked like the stock exchange or some shit.
You know what I will say, though? I'll finally give them credit for, I'll give them credit for finally releasing Disney Plus. They keep talking about Disney Plus, and I mean, it's coming, but I hadn't seen or heard anything. Now, granted, I didn't really go look for it, but they finally announced it with the, the videos and the commercials and a trailer, I guess, and I'm actually kind of happy about that because I'm hoping that puts pressure on the likes of, Netflix and shit like that. Because at the end of the day, honestly, Netflix is garbage.
Yeah, but Netflix actually started to come back.
Explain.
I was doing some browsing, like the movies that I've came across, the movies that I'd be like, oh, I want to watch this. Granted, it's not like movies that I go searching for, you know what I'm saying? But if I came across it, I'll be like, oh shit, this is on here? Hell yeah, let me watch it. I can't tell you exactly what those were right now, but I've been watching a lot of fucking movies. And I've been watching a lot of
I feel like it used to be more like that. Like, it used to have more of, like, the older, not classic, but like movies from like the 80s or 90s that we were more familiar with. Now it's just all this original, Netflix original, and none of them are entertaining. Like maybe 20% of them are. Maybe 20% of them. Like, but just this past week, I watched that movie Eli. That horror film. I say 6.5 out of 10.
That's like most horror films for me. But I love horror. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like they all suck.
Well, put it this way though, horror films, I guess, if it's a regular movie scale, maybe a 5, but it's like a 6.5 on the horror movie scale.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense, you know?
Yeah,
it's like this movie could be a 7 overall, but like it's like a 9.5 horror film. Mm-hmm. Like The Curve, you know?
Yeah.
This one though, nah. It started out strong, started out nice, and then it just kind of like fell flat. But how much time do you actually spend watching things on Netflix?
Depends on the day, but I would say on average, how long do I stay on there? 3 to 4 hours.
How much time do you think you spend looking for something to watch on Netflix?
Like 40 minutes.
I mean, it's a ridiculous ratio. It's insane. I feel like I spend way more time. I'll spend like, because I'm OCD, and I'm like, well, if I watch this, then da-da-da-da-da. I spend maybe like 45 minutes looking for something, and then I'll watch something for 30 minutes and turn it off.
Sometimes when I am browsing, or like when I can dedicate that time, or I know that time like for browsing is going to be dedicated, like I'll push it in the queue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like it'll kind of like narrow it down. I ain't got to like really go back and look through shit,
I seem to get more satisfaction from adding and removing things from my queue than I do from actually watching shit on Netflix.
Yeah, well, that's just like making playlists and shit too.
Pretty much, yeah. It's kind of the same concept. But I mean, I don't know. It's just I spend so much time, and there's nothing good. Like, and I'm like, I will say this. I like the documentaries they've done. I feel like those have been good, but they're always few and far between. I like the shows, of course, but I mean, Netflix shouldn't get credit for that. They're just they're not like, I don't like the Netflix original shows.
You mean like
I like
licensed shows or whatever.
Yeah, like they have Breaking Bad on there and things like that. Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Portlandia lately.
Good show.
Hell yeah, I was fucked with it. It's funny as shit.
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen like a lot of like references.
They should make more shows like that, cause like Portlandia, the characters it's like the city, like it's like if there was like Huntsylvania and it was about this town, it'd be about this guy right here. He'd be a fucking character, and like
with a mullet.
Yeah. This guy with this ugly ass orange shirt, it's like mad wet and shit.
Unidentified wetness, mystery wet shirt.
Yeah, but I feel you on that Star Wars shit, man. And like Netflix too, man. Netflix is doo-doo.
HBO Now is okay. I mean, it's HBO, but that I feel like that's decent. But I still don't really find a ton of stuff to watch on there. But I mean, it sounds like Disney Plus, obviously with Star Wars. We're just shitting on Star Wars, but I'm like happy, like, oh, they have Star Wars. I'll still probably watch, the original ones. 4 through 6, I feel like were at least fun to watch. But
you know what? This is gonna be unpopular as fuck too. But 4 through 6. I mean, wait. No, wait. Yeah. 4 through 6. Really not that great either.
Yeah.
Really not that great either. Like, I mean, even with the special editions, like when they put like the CG bullshit in there, I hate those versions.
Yeah.
I'd rather see the older shit. But like those movies, they're kind of slow.
How do you feel about like modern day like CGI versus like I
hate CGI.
Yeah, I do too, cuz I liked like Ninja Turtles.
The
movies,
the Jim Henson
from the 90s,
Yeah.
Like the
Jim Henson designed those suits. The dude that like made the Muppets.
Yeah.
That's why this shit's so dope.
Those look good. You look at like Predator. I feel like that looks pretty realistic,
Oh.
And then you look at like horror films like The Exorcist. That was the scariest shit ever to me. And there was no CGI.
Yeah, practical effects.
Just shooting us pea soup from a mouth.
Like those people were mad talented. Like Tom Savini, like all those people that who Tom Savini is.
I don't know names.
You seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
From Dust to... Yeah, of course.
You know the guy that had like the 6-shooter like in his dick?
Yeah.
That's Tom Savini.
Ah,
He's like a
yes, I know him.
He's just a legendary like makeup artist. Like for like movies, you know what I mean? Like
Makes sense.
he did like Friday the 13th and shit like that. Like he did all those effects. So like he's like the god of like that shit.
Yeah.
There's nobody out there nowadays like that.
Well, yeah, because it's all CGI. And I don't like it. I don't like it as
Yeah,
much.
man. Y'all gotta fix that shit, you know?
I like...
Because practical effects could be so much better now if you think about it. Think about like the technology and shit.
The one thing I don't know how you replace those, like... And I mean, I guess I haven't really had issues with it, but like showing explosions and...
That's only good for like mass shit. Like if you was gonna show like a massive like overhead shot, you know, like panning shot of like World War II and you didn't have enough fucking extras. You know what I mean?
Got like 16 people.
Like that's good for what CGI's good for.
Right.
Everything else is just like how the fuck was the Lion King live action and the entire movie was CGI?
Did you watch it?
No.
I had no interest watching it. I had no interest watching Aladdin either.
Yeah, me neither.
Will Smith is washed. I'm sorry. Will Smith hasn't been... What was the last time you saw Will Smith in a movie that you felt was like an A-list movie? That's... Yeah, you gotta go back.
You know what, bro?
Like Legend?
Real?
I Am Legend, maybe?
I don't... That shit was trash to me, so...
Do you think that's what ended it? Because,
Yeah,
I mean, look at,
man.
like, Tom Cruise. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, but he's still in A-list movies, you know? Those Mission Impossible, yeah, but Will Smith, I mean, would you not say he's on a similar caliber? I mean, he was, hot, you know, where would you put Will Smith as, like, the peak of his fame? Who would you say is, like, a current...
Men in Black.
You think so? But
That's the peak. That's peak Will Smith.
It's
fame.
peak Will Smith,
And
but
it
I feel like...
should be definitely...
I feel like his fame went higher from there, though. Like, I feel like he was more famous after that, no? Like...
I think he started making the money.
Yes. That's
like,
okay,
people were
yeah,
just-
good way to word it.
They threw him fucking money and still do nowadays. Like to do shit because Will Smith's just that safe dude, bro.
Yeah.
He's safe. You know, he's a good actor. He's cool dude. Seems like he's cool as fuck. You know, like I
Yeah.
hang out with fucking Will Smith, but he's safe. He's safe for everyone across the board. He's like the everyman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why he is who he is. Even his name. Will Smith. Like that's such a like you know straight down the line fucking like Anglo ass name. You know what I mean?
Will Smith.
When you think of fucking this tall, athletic black dude that can act and do everything.
That's
like
funny.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's
He is talented. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
he's
He's
talented
talented. I'm with
the
you.
nigga like won the first Grammy and shit. Like for rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, like he seems cool. He's
He's
talented.
done everything.
Yeah, he seems like a likable guy for sure. But I you know, Gemini Man, I don't have any interest watching that. Like I think the premise is cool.
Actually, I kind of do have an interest in watching that shit because that shit it was shot in a way where some theaters have it to where it's in 120 frames per second. Like normal movies are like 28. I mean not 28, like 24 frames per second. Like 48 is like a good like
Shit.
you know. It's just
The
shot at
effects and
120.
crisp and shit, huh?
Dude, that shit is gonna be fucking like crazy. And how they cloned him.
Yeah.
Like really. Like but digitally. Like they cloned him digitally. They have a file that has 23-year-old Will Smith.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like the concept, the actual gimmick itself. I think these are good concepts, but
No,
like,
this
what
is
is
like
it?
a government shit, man. I'm telling
But,
you,
like,
it gotta be.
Why is it so, like? Do you have any interest watching it? You just said you kind of do, but like,
I kind of do now that I know what I just told you about
So,
the 120 frames
what's
per second.
missing about like the plot? Like, why do I not want to watch it? Because I can't really explain why, but it's just like
I don't know anything.
it
about
just
the plot.
seems. Is it kind of like that thing? Like you see it and you're just like, I can tell that shit's gonna be weak.
It's a movie. I don't know. It looked like, from what I can tell, because I don't know what the fucking plot is really about, but it looks like Deadshot has a clone, and this nigga gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it kind of, actually, yeah. I feel like they could tie it into that. And then,
he's like an assassin or some shit like that.
Right.
And like he has to assassin. They cloned him. You know what I mean? And like
that would be a funny way to like explain his
one of them is rogue or something.
Missing from Suicide Squad 2 or whatever. Which Suicide Squad was awful.
Yeah.
That
the
movie
only good DC
travesty
movie since the Dark Knight is
was Joker.
Joker.
We didn't, we didn't talk about Joker. We didn't give our Joker review. What did you think?
You know what? We actually have a clip of like right after.
Oh, we do. Yeah. Let's pull that up.
So we just saw the Joker movie. I thought it was pretty dope, like from start to finish. Like because I was like, where's this chaos coming from? Like, when you think about the Batman story, like, what is this shit? Like, how does he become so protected? You know what I mean? Like, Joker. And I think that they did like a good angle with the shit. Not to give any spoilers away or anything like that. Like I think that shit was like
direction
mad dope. I think the direction that DC's gonna go in for the next decade is, for one, the right direction that they should go in.
Do it, though.
I think that they are gonna do it. I think that they're most definitely gonna do it.
Exists.
I think that they're taking that out.
Well, but
Because they're making another one, right?
Yeah.
I think that that's going to be more on part of this.
More what?
More on par to this. Like around the same shit. You know what I'm
But they already
saying?
had their own Joker, though. I don't know. That's how.
Well, okay, so
Because this one could be just one-off. I don't know if this is going to relate to like the Rob Pattinson one.
nah, I think that it is.
It could. But
I think it is. Because I totally forgot about that angle. There's a totally new Batman, so that means there's a new story. Anytime there's a new Batman, it's pretty much a new story.
That's if they're connected.
Nah, it's
They
gonna
should be.
I wanna let's make a gentleman's wager that it's gonna.
I mean, I think it's likely, but we can't say that it's definitely.
I think this was the perfect movie to start with.
It was, yeah. Because I mean, you got the time frame, the time era. It's,
obviously mid '80s,
I think it might have even been before that.
maybe just a little bit.
Charlie Chaplin.
At first I thought it was like kind of like time ambiguous. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like how the first Batman and Batman Return were the Tim Burton shit.
Yeah.
But I kind of guess this one was more just because I looked at the cars and I'm like, well, those are like the newer ones are like even like mid '80s. You know what I mean?
It
Like,
looked like it could have been, yeah. Because then, I mean, you think 15 years later is probably because what Batman was like 30.
15 to 20 years later, you know. So
Because he was like what 30.
he was like 10
Batman.
this time around. You know what I'm saying?
10, 12, somewhere in there.
So I'd say like early '90s, mid '90s. They'll try to like.
That'd be cool if they bring 90s and stuff.
I think it would be because that's like that totally. I think for the next, if they keep doing this for the next 10 to 15 years, I think by the time it gets to its end game or whatever, it'll be caught up to the times. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll be on like Robin, Nightwing.
Probably,
you know?
yeah. I can see that.
Maybe they'll even go a Batman Beyond angle. You know what I'm saying? I can see this going 1,000 ways. And I think that this was the perfect first movie for them to start.
Unless you think Rob Pattinson's a young Ben Affleck.
He could be.
I hope not, but it could be. Because then that would probably imply a different Joker. It's like Joker's more of a movement than a person.
Well,
which it could be.
Right. That's a good thing to think about as well. I like that a lot. This could go far. I think they may. Well, Marvel has had a great decade, obviously, since 2008. You know what I'm saying? They're coming into their 12th year coming up. So I think that this is DC's like rebuttal. You know,
They see if they actually do it.
I think they will. That's my first take on it. I'm gonna do some more thinking on it, and we're gonna come back. We definitely gonna revisit this shit.
True.
Because I see you got some shit to process. I see you.
Because I like it. No, I don't have anything I would change. I'm just
No,
trying to think,
I'm just saying you processing I liked it, but I want to see more. I want to see
I'm looking for something, and it was deep enough. I'm looking for additional metaphors because I mean you could look at it as like an obvious political statement to now. I don't think.
I saw that. I saw that parallel. I saw that. I most definitely saw
that
parallel.
You know, like I want to think more on it.
Yeah,
it was good. It was definitely good. I liked it.
See, I see that. I see your wheels turning. You're gonna think more on it. I thought it was very good though, man. Y'all check it out. Don't let the bullshit ass media and shit, keep going.
That's it is pretty. It is violent. It picks up in the second half, but
it wasn't that violent.
I thought it was pretty. It was good. I felt a little uneasy, not as in I was like uncomfortable, but like it had like that suspense. A lot of the effects.
Oh yeah, see, and
they did a nice job building that up.
It was
you
very
know where it's gonna go.
It was very realistic. I think this is even more realistic than The Dark Knight.
I think so. I think the influence part of it was a little bit maybe exaggerated, but then again, you think about how times were then, very different from times now. And also the fact that it was before forensics and all that, it can make like, shit like that you can just kind of have happen and go into the shadows. I do think the 90s would be a quintessential period for Batman.
For sure. Yeah, I think that it's gonna be good. Y'all gotta excuse the audio of this shit.
We can dress it up.
Oh man. Oh shit, we got apples. I knew this shit was gonna be like good when we come back. I'm huge on the cinematography. I love the cinematography.
I did too. We talked about that yesterday. It's got that Scorsese feel to it.
For sure.
I don't like the backlash it's getting. I mean, look, there's a reason that it's going to be like. I don't either. They're like, oh, it's depressing, it's sad, it's the Joker.
It's a movie.
It's the Joker. Like, what did you expect for one?
I think, all right, what I think people got wrong with the shit, people expected Batman.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And see, that's why you should never go in a movie with expectations. That
Right.
was one thing we were talking about last night when we were talking about it.
Well, and then my brother Nick. So my brother Nick basically said it kind of sounded like he couldn't really say why he didn't like it. He's like, if it wasn't the Joker, I would like it. Like, it was a good movie. And he said something about, I don't know enough about his background. I said, that's kind of the point. Nobody does. Nobody knows about it. And maybe he just didn't like this take on, like, here's how he might have come to be. Maybe that's kind of where he stood.
People, like, as young as Nick, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nick just turned 21. Like, they grew up on the kind of, like, real comic booky movies, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so you would think, that it's, like, not as gritty. Because that shit was, like, even though it was, like, a period piece, it was, like, real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it seemed, like, it didn't seem didn't seem fake about it.
Yeah, it felt realistic. And I think, and to the original point with Nick, I feel like maybe people like just having the mystery. Maybe they just don't, they like just not knowing for sure. They like just kind of guessing, how did the Joker come to be? I don't know. Maybe that's what it ultimately comes down to. But, so I read some interesting theories on that. I remember after we watched it, and you can hear it in the clip, you said that you feel like this is like definitely the beginning of an extended universe. Now, I think that...
Well, no, I didn't say that I thought it was definitely. I said I think that this is the way that DC should go.
But you made it seem like you were pretty sure like they're doing it. They're going to go that way.
Well, they are changing the Batman, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Because they're supposed to... Isn't the movie supposed to be called like The Batman? Something
well,
like that?
the reason, but that's because Batman already exists, and that's why they also did like Dark Knight.
But isn't it their own like property? Like, can't they? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But and I think if I'm not mistaken, or maybe this is just something that we made up, is it supposed to be set in the 90s, or at least like kind of like his early days, like when he's in the beginning of being Batman?
Yeah. So it's just like
So, I mean, it
Batman
could.
Begins all over again.
So I mean that means this kind of could be, it could correlate. It could even be, and I hope they don't do this, but it could even be they were like, oh, Rob Pattinson is young Ben Affleck. I hope not, because then that means that they don't. If they are extending this universe, it's within the same shitty universe that they've tried to build out. I hope that's not the case. But honestly,
what is that even called?
Justice League.
DCEU?
I think it is actually, or DCCU Cinematic. I don't know. I think it is EU. I don't know. But I actually more think now. I've heard some theories, and I want to hear your thoughts on these.
Mm-hmm.
First theory I heard was none of it happened. Like, the entire time he was just locked up in that hospital and all that shit was in his head.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one theory. The other theory was he is not the original Joker, but he's the inspiration for who becomes a Joker. Yet another theory says that, but says the guy that shot and killed the Waynes was the Joker, who becomes the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just some of the theories that I had heard. What do you think?
I've heard all those theories, and they all make sense. That's what's so great about that movie.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, and
if they leave it standing alone, it will be probably like one of the greatest fucking like movies, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ever, just because of the ambiguity of that. You know what I'm saying? Of those three theories, there's more, way
Right.
more out there like that, but they all kind of fall into like the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, it was in his head. But even if it was real, and say Arthur Fleck is the original Joker, but the Joker that we all know, you know, like the Crown Prince of Crime, like shit, or whatever, is the dude that, you know, killed Bruce's parents. Like, that, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, I like that idea a lot.
I'd be fine with that too. I actually kind of like the. So you see throughout the movie, he's the unreliable narrator, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the dishonest narrator, because he has the little love fling with the neighbor that doesn't happen. He
Zazie
kills it.
Beetz.
Yeah.
It's a tight ass name.
Yeah. She's kind of.
She'll get the beats.
Yeah. He has the dream sequence basically where he's on that Maury show.
Yeah.
His name was Maury, right? Was it called
Murray.
the Murray?
Murray.
He was on the Murray show. I was gonna say he wasn't on the Maury show, but he was on Murray's show, and that was
Thomas
a lie.
Wayne, you are the father.
Yeah, that was a lie. And then
That was a lie.
I'm saying it.
Yeah,
It's off a circle. This is actually the Maury origin story. But you know, you just see instance after instance that he's telling a lie, and then you look back at the similarity between when he's in the hospital and he has his flashbacks to when he was in the hospital before. It looks like the same hospital.
It looked like the same lady.
Yeah, it looks like the same lady, but slightly different. So then maybe when he's talking to her,
He's just imagining like
somebody else. Like this is, and then the other one. So in one situation he was medicated, and then at the end he was not taking his medication anymore. Which kind of seems like that's when he kind of stepped into his own. Like that's when he felt like comfortable and noticed. But that also, maybe he was on his medication, and that's what it was his visualization of his psychiatrist.
No, actually, you just blew my mind, fam. Or I think, you know what I'm saying, like, all right, remember the little quote that was in like the book? It was like people ask you to act normal as if you're not already, or some shit like that. It was
I think so.
Something along those lines. Like, I'm just paraphrasing or whatever. But like, this is kind of like a I don't know, I think it's like a jab at like the pharmaceutical companies, and like how like we're like, you know, all pilled up and shit because we all got like mental like problems and shit like that, you know. So it's like, why can't we just be like normal, like, you know, like, I don't know, like how we put like autism on like people and shit like that, you know, like, oh, they're autistic, you know, like when we give them medication, like, what if they're just normal, you know, like that's just them.
That might be a reach, but like I can see the connection.
Like you see the connection with the movie though?
I can see that too.
That was kind of extreme, but like I'm saying, like
not the autistic part. I don't think that was like a purposeful.
When he was off his meds, he was like, you know, like more comfortable, and he was more of himself.
Right,
know?
right.
Even if it was in his mind, like yo, some shit that I didn't get is like, why they thought people was like gonna like shoot people and shit for that. Like, they didn't make no sense.
Over what?
Over the movie. Just watching the movie.
Oh yeah, so
it's
yeah.
gonna make white guys shoot people. Like
We should
every day, bro.
We should go
This
back
is
to the
life.
outrage on it, because
Yeah.
we knew there was going to be outrage culture, was going to get a piece of this, and yeah, it's a violent movie. It's rated R. It's no more violent than other,
rated R movies.
Yeah, than other rated R movies.
Matter of fact, more movies should be rated R.
Yeah. It's no more violent than some of the shit that you would see in the comics. It's definitely not The Killing Joke. I feel like that one's pretty awful. As far as like the violence and the graphic nature of it, especially since it kind of implies that he rapes Barbara Gordon. So like that obviously wouldn't translate well on the big screen.
Dude's wild, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as it could have been. And yet don't watch it. It's awful, and I feel like that's if you were going to have a Joker origin, it should be awful. It should be sad. It should be twisted. And it should be, not multiple choice, but, Joker has said before that, yeah, I like to think that's my past, but it's kind of multiple choice or whatever.
No.
So,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I thought this was a Supreme drop. I was about to be like, yo, son, we gotta hit that shit. This fucking Exxon. Yo, I'm pretty sure that's where they got the logo and font and shit from.
it might be
Like
because it's gas.
yes, that gas.
But yeah, ultimately, I don't think there's anything to be up in arms about Joker. I don't know why people feel the need to.
Because people just
so sensitive
want to
about
be fucking
it.
outraged nowadays. It's just like an addiction
Look
or some
for it.
shit.
They look for it.
Like, I don't understand that shit.
Thanks for listening. That was episode 3. Episode 4 will be dropping on Thursday. Couple more takes from yours truly and Chance Davis. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And make sure you're following us on Twitter @PodcastAtMe for the latest content and commentary from Mike Silva and Chance Davis. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you Thursday.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.